Hi, I'm Catherine Diorio. This week on Check Please, global business developer Joe Jacquet says he wouldn't trade his favorite restaurant for anything in the world. He says you've got to follow him for a delicious dinner on Damon. But writer Suzanne Witt knows there are a lot of novel restaurants in town. But if you're looking for an amazing blend of cultures, you should join her at her selection. Up first, even though pediatrician Pooja Kungar is around children all day, she doesn't kid around when it comes to dinner time. She says for creative cocktails and wonderful fare, head to Wicker Park and stop by Pub Royale.
The cuisine here is referred to as Indian, but you know, it's a little more than that. It was initially inspired by a lot of the food that I ate in London. You know, pretty simple. Tasty food that we couldn't get anywhere around here, and beer that seems to go good with everything. We are inspired by our own experiences and the places that we want to enjoy and frequent and experience, and this would definitely be one of them. People can expect to be greeted by really great staff, really hospitable, you know, and if they come in with an open mind, we are gonna serve them some delicious food and drink, and I think we'll have a good chance to win them over.
So Pooja, you say Pub Royale rocks. Why'd you choose it?
I chose it because it's something off the beaten path in terms of Indian food, and it certainly has a vibe in this restaurant that speaks more to a younger generation, and it's not your typical Indian restaurant. Most of the food there is reconceptualized from a colonial standpoint. So there are certain dishes that they've used English influences. It feels more like a true pub experience if you were to travel to Ireland or England and eat Indian food in a pub. I think that's the general feel they were going for with the food.
We actually went for brunch, and we started with the avocado paratha, which I thought was absolutely wonderful. I love avocado. I love the chili oil, the egg, the cotija cheese, I believe, is included as well. It was delicious. We had the India hot chicken, which I absolutely love. That was probably my favorite thing. We had the chicken tikka kati roll. We had the Royale with cheese. And it was a very lively crowd. I mean, I am a mom of 2 young girls, and there was a baby crying her eyes out. She was teething, the mom said, which bothered me not at all because I've been there myself. And there were hipsters, and there were people probably in their 50s and 60s. It was a real nice range of people, and I liked that. I felt very comfortable.
The decor is great too. You see the wood bar with the glass behind it, stuffed peacocks on the side, church lamps, chandeliers all the way down the row, and the big board in the back with all the beers that they have. So it was very diverse. I didn't even know it was an Indian restaurant that we were going to until I got the menu, and the waiter just came up to us and started staring, and I just burst out laughing. So the service was a little young. I guess it's the new thing that's going on out there. The hipster, you know, and as much as I want to think I am, I'm not. But I could have used a little more guidance, especially when I ordered the dressed hams. It literally is dipped in hot sauce with a lime on top.
It's like a deconstructed michelada.
Everyone's like, oh, it's a michelada. I'm like, a what? I don't know what that is. But the deviled shrimp was really delicious, and that came out with the traditional bread. So we had that, and then the lamb wontons, those were really good.
So I grew up in a North Indian Punjabi family, which is pretty much 90% of the food you eat in the United States in Indian restaurants is Punjabi origin, and people always throw a shout out to chicken tikka
masala, right? Exactly.
I can't say my own people's food. I call it butter chicken or butter paneer. And at this restaurant, they serve it with a paratha. And a paratha is a very traditional bread that comes from Punjab state where they layer butter into the bread.
Isn't that actually what it means? That's how it translates, is layered dough?
I do believe so, and they also do a salted cod samosa, and that's like their shout out to fish and chips, you know, so they have this idea of like, let's try and do fish and chips, but a different way. It's also nice to have a lot of different types of beers and ciders on tap. So I had the Menendez Sidra, that's an Asturian cider that's from a certain region of Spain, and that was a really good cider. It had like light notes of green apple in it.
And then, Suzanne, what did you have? You had some interesting
We started
cocktails.
with beer. We went on to the cocktails, and I found the Royal Cup #1 completely refreshing. I loved it. And then my husband had the Bloody Maharati.
I did almost all the Pim's cups. I tried those, and they were really well put together. They did a good job with that, with the crushed ice in them and the fresh herbs and the fruits that they would add into it. So I thought that was really awesome. I do remember after I did have a beer, I was checking out a couple of their IPAs, and so I liked that they had local breweries as well as some national and international, so it gave us a chance to try some.
Well, that's the thing, is sometimes restaurants, they get so fixated on it has to be local or it has to be this. And so with Pub Royale, their point of view is really, if it's good, they're going to have it on the menu. And as Pooja said, you know, there are ciders, and part of the reason for having so many more ciders than you might normally see on a menu is, you know, the low carbonation, the lack of bitterness, and the touch of sweetness with cider is a really good complement to the spiciness that you get with Indian food. Pooja, you chose Pub Royale. Sum it up for us.
Very delicious Indian food in a pub setting, and it's a fun neighborhood. Wicker Park is really fun.
Suzanne?
I certainly would return. It was a fun experience and a place I would certainly recommend to someone in the area visiting or what have you, but I thought it was great.
And Joe?
Fine Indian cuisine with very laid-back service.
You can try the Indian fare for yourself at Pub Royale, 2049 West Division Street, 773-661-6874. Open for dinner every day and brunch on the weekends. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $20. Suzanne Witt knows all about the sizzling restaurant neighborhoods in Chicago, but she says that if you want to try a true hidden gem, you have to venture out a little. That's why she wants you to join her on Kedzie Avenue at Thithi's.
Good food, good drink. Say, wow, this look like they in downtown Chicago. They never expect like inside it's nice and beautiful like this. And they look at my menu, my drink menu. They say, "Ooh!" They never think like that in Evergreen Park. We serve Vietnamese foods and Thai and a little French because I'm Vietnamese. So I mix some Vietnamese flavor with Thai together. We use everything from fresh, like everything. I make my own sauce and everything from scratch. I love to make drink, like love creating the new things. This is a new one. So that's why my martini list like changing very often. I'm so happy, and my husband and I and my sister, we work like from home, so that's why we very appreciate.
So Suzanne, you say the food at Thithi's is too good for words. Tell us why you chose it.
I really, really enjoy Thithi's. It has become an asset in the Evergreen Park community where I live, but also to the surrounding south suburbs. To have a restaurant of this caliber is something I find so exciting.
What kind of restaurant is it? Tell us
It
about
is
the
actually a
restaurant.
French-Vietnamese fusion. I love the Penang curry with chicken. That's my absolute favorite. I love the drunken noodles. I love the Soldier of the Sea, which is a spicy stir fry with mussels and salmon and shrimp. And I prefer many of the chicken dishes, but I love the spice that they afford.
French, Vietnamese, some Thai.
Right, yes,
there.
absolutely. It's
Kind
a
of
fusion.
a fusion for sure.
It certainly is.
I have to admit, when you say fusion, I think I'm a purist, right? And if I want French, I want French. If I want Italian, I want Italian.
Yes.
And so, of course, I took on my, this is going to be like fusion. And so, but she did an awesome job. She married one of the dishes really well that I loved. It was the deux cargo.
Oh, I love that
So it's
too.
the shrimp with
I
the
love
escargot,
that.
and it was in a Thai peanut sauce with coconut cream. We got the spicy lemongrass beef, which was delicious. I loved that. We ordered the whole deep fried snapper. And we also ordered the pad thai because I think that's how I gauge any restaurant is how well they do their pad thai. And we also ordered the pork shake.
So I'm not an expert by any means, but I definitely was surprised to see this restaurant where it's located and the authenticity that they're bringing to the food. I ordered the drunken noodles or pad ki mao and got it with chicken, and we also did the pork shank. And one of my friends was also, we shared everything family style, and there's just so much food on the plate that you can take some home. There's just enough food that everybody feels comfortable eating there, and it's a family restaurant. You can bring your kids there. She has a child. Her baby was running around with her, while she's doing her work, the baby's in the restaurant. And I thought that was really cute. And you felt like it was a nice family establishment where families can go and have like a very delicious, authentic Thai meal if they're sick of regular American fare.
When we were there, we noticed a lot of the patrons were talking to one another across the bar. It's probably a small village, I suspect, because everybody knew each other. The vibe, so that vibe was awesome, and it is. It's a gem in the middle of
It is,
nothing.
and it's a nice decor. It's warm, and tables are close. When you come to the South Side, in general, you're going to find a warmth and a friendliness with the people, and we all identify by our parishes. It's just a very close-knit community, but we certainly welcome everyone. That's how I have always felt.
So Thithi, she's Vietnamese. What's interesting is she's actually an engineer by education, and then she started helping her sister out at her restaurant, then started working in the kitchen, and that's actually how she learned how to cook. And now she's the full-time chef there, and she runs a restaurant with her husband. And then you see her with her baby on her arm. She has a new, fairly new young child still. And so, would you go back?
Absolutely. Thithi was an amazing woman, chef, hostess. She's in the back shaking the martinis. And so I don't even know half the drinks that we were trying, but one was a tequila martini, and we had a rum martini, and we had the vodka with all the fresh juices. It seemed like all the juices that she had in them, but they weren't sweet.
I actually went for a pina colada, and I did it without any alcohol in it and virginized it, but it was really well done. I didn't feel like it was over the top sweet. Once again, even with a pina colada, it was not too sweet. So that served as somewhat my drink, and then we still ordered dessert. The banana egg rolls, which you can get in like a lot of Thai restaurants with chocolate sauce and ice. We were celebrating one of my friends Israel's birthday. I thought it was delicious. I love anything deep fried with chocolate.
Who doesn't?
Ice cream on the plate. Like, I can't complain. I was very happy at this restaurant because I felt like I was full when I left, and I didn't have to be extra fancy, and it was just a normal dining experience that you can have with kids, with your parents, with your family. It's a great place. It's a great spot.
Well, Suzanne, you chose Thithi. Sum it up for us.
I think it's a wonderful addition to the neighborhood. I love having the quality right in my backyard. I think the owners are fantastic, and I look forward to having it around for many, many more years to come.
Great. And Pooja?
Very authentic Thai food, so
agree.
well worth your experience, well worth the drive.
Great. And Joe?
It is a hidden gem. I mean, seriously, that's the only way you can say it. It's a hidden gem, and so is she.
Try it for yourself at Thithi's, 9144 South Kedzie Avenue, 708-634-3925. Open for lunch Tuesday through Saturday and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $30.
Hi, I'm Liz Pierce from The Drifter. We are here today at the bar, and I'm going to be making a drink for you called the Cameraman's Happy Hour. All right, we're going to start with a little rum. This is Atlantico rum from the Dominican Republic. 1.5 ounces. Little aloe vera liqueur. This is one of my favorite things ever. It's called Chirot. It's available at any of those liquor stores in your neighborhood. And some fresh lime juice. Fresh juice is so important. It's one of the things that gets ignored at home, but it really makes the difference in your cocktails. 1/2 ounce of fresh pineapple. And then I have a really cool ingredient here. This is a grenadine that is made specifically for cocktails, and this is from a company called Bittermans. And then we're just gonna shake this over some ice really quickly. Strain it into a Collins glass. Then you're gonna top with one of my favorite things ever, LaCroix, and I'm using a coconut. We're gonna garnish it with a straw, pineapple frond. These are something that often get thrown away and they look really cool. Stick a little pineapple wedge on there, and you've got yourself a refreshing drink.
Joe Jaquay has dined out all over the world, but his favorite spot is close to his home and his heart. He says for a place that perfectly connects food and wine, head to Ravenswood and check out Ampersand.
You should expect an experience akin to coming into someone's home, and that's how the design was set up and our philosophy of food and service. Myself and the chef de cuisine both come from fine dining, and we like that approach of food, where it's very thoughtful and inclusive of food and wine and cocktails. Because we want it to be a little more of a relaxed atmosphere, and that's also how we tie in the bar and the open kitchen. It's a small space, and we squeeze them in, but we really like that feeling, and our guests do too. And I want them to feel like their experience was over-delivered. Now, they expected one thing and they got a lot more, so that's what we aim for every night.
So Joe, you say Ampersand is amazing. Tell us why you chose it.
It is. What I find is that they get a depth of flavor in their food that always has you wondering, what is that? What is that? And as someone who loves to cook and obviously eat, I'm always trying to figure out what's in the food, and Ampersand just will put something very new and different into the most simplest of dishes that they'll create for you. So I have to keep going back every time they change their menu.
I absolutely love the understated, when we walked up to the door, it's very minimalist. It's a communal dining experience. I absolutely like the food.
Good.
And we tried many, many things. Everything from the octopus to the meat and cheese board to the grilled flat iron steak. I love the cracker. It's like a Parmesan crisp.
It is.
We tried the grilled flat iron steak, which was delicious, cooked perfectly. I did the Hasselback potato, and my favorite personally was the roasted tomato with the gnocchi and the shaved Parmesan. I just thought the flavors were great. I thought the portions were good. I thought the price was good, and I really did enjoy the wine.
I really like the ambiance at this restaurant. The first thing, of course, I was waiting for my friends to show up, and I looked at the menu, and the menu was a shout out to the Ampersand, which used to be the end of the English alphabet in 1865 or something. They put in the Ampersand as the last letter, and the chef McGraw's connection with the ampersand and how it relates to the enzo, the Japanese symbol, and this idea of a circle almost closing on itself, but this room for improvement, this room for reaching out, and this zen that he gets into when he prepares food. I understand he was the pastry chef at Charlie Trotter's.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And we had I'm skipping straight to dessert, which sometimes I do in a restaurant, the s'mores. I was just like, and I love how the menu tells you, order s'mores. So
Couldn't you cry when she just took the spoon and broke it,
the
and it just
chocolate. It was
oozed
it was
over the plate?
amazing. It was a work of art. You understood once you ate that dessert what this person is capable of in the kitchen. You finally got a glimpse of, wow, this is really culinary greatness at a very very affordable price. So I was blown away.
And if you met Chef Darren, he is the epitome of Zen. He's so calm and cool all the time. It brings you into a setting that he wants to share with you, and you feel it. And that's what keeps bringing me back.
We had the whole game hen with the parsnip confit. And the parsnip confit, I'm not a big parsnip eater. I'm not from an Eastern European background, obviously, and it's not my favorite vegetable. I discovered. I learned something about myself that night that I don't like parsnips, really. But I did like the hen was really good. We got the kale salad with the garlic dressing. Everybody loved how fresh it was. And I love the Hasselback potatoes. I have to agree with you with the truffled creme fraiche. We got the gnocchi with the roasted tomatoes and the grana padano, which is like something slightly different from a Parmesan. I loved the gnocchi, but it wasn't like, you didn't delineate like an actual gnocchi piece. You felt like just like a smushy gnocchi and these roasted tomatoes. It really made me rethink gnocchi. What is grana padano? Like so many questions. I mean, I learned so much just from going to this restaurant.
Some of the things, if you have kids, I think you would love this because they had a cauliflower steak. And so it's just grilled cauliflower that is sliced, that looks like a steak, and it was delicious. We ordered their homemade lamb sausage, and as we're eating that and seared salmon and a red curry, but all of a sudden the table next to us orders the rigatoni, and not only did it look delicious, but it smelled so good. So there we we're raising our hand to eat the rigatoni. Those were delicious.
And obviously, though, a huge part of the restaurant is it is a wine bar as well. So why don't we talk a little bit about that? Suzanne, you said you guys had some wine. I know you really enjoy wine.
I love wine. I think it is quite varied. I mean, you have wine from Italy, Spain. I saw Ohio, which was really shocking to me. The Gewürztraminer was from Ohio. I've never seen that on a menu.
So maybe something for everyone,
yeah,
perhaps. Like you can maybe learn as well from the wine menu.
Right. I thought the service was very, very good. We weren't overwhelmed. We were asked if we had questions, that our server was available, but I felt like it was just right. I was a little apprehensive about the communal dining. I've experienced that overseas, never in the States, and I thought that it was done really well. People sitting next to us, we were spaced far apart, that we were privy to our own conversations. We weren't intruding on someone else's, and I thought that was really nice.
Well, Joe, you chose Ampersand. Sum it up for us.
It is rustic but refined. It's casual but yet fine dining. You'll love it.
Suzanne?
I thought the food was very, very well done, and at the perfect date night for my husband and myself.
Great. And Pooja?
Cooking in Zen mode. That's all I can say.
You can try the wine and bites for yourself at Ampersand Wine Bar, 4845 North Damon Avenue, 773-728-0031. Open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $35. So on this week's show, we featured Pub Royale in Wicker Park, Ampersand in Ravenswood, and Thithi's in Evergreen Park. Let's recap what our guests had to say. First, we drove to Division and visited Pub Royale. Pooja recommends it for a unique and delicious approach to Indian cuisine. Joe enjoyed the delicious cuisine and fun decor. Suzanne appreciated the diverse crowd and said the food was absolutely wonderful. Next, we visited Thithi's in the south suburbs. Suzanne recommends it for a fantastic fine dining experience in the south suburbs. Joe said Thithi's cooking was amazing and thinks it is a hidden gem. Pooja was surprised by the authenticity and deliciousness of her meal. Lastly, we made our way on Damon and ate at Ampersand. Joe recommends it because Chef Darren's excellent menu delights him time after time. Suzanne loved the minimalist decor and everything she ate. Pooja liked the Zen atmosphere and raved about the desserts. We've had a wonderful time this week. I want to thank my guests, Pooja Kungar, Joe Jacque, and Suzanne Witt. Join us next week for 3 new guests recommending 3 of their favorite restaurants right here on Check Please. I'm Catherine DiOrio, and I'll see you then. Cheers.
For more information about the restaurants featured on Check Please, go to WTTW.com/checkplease.